Welcome back to Shea. Well, an interesting moment and interesting dialogue just occurred down in the Mets dugout. John Stearns is the bench coach for the Mets. He was talking to Mike Piazza about one of the pieces of the shattered bat from Game 2 and where it ended up. Here's John Stearns.
I think Bobby and I traced that. Somebody put it up and gave it to John Henry's partner. John Henry's the owner of the Marlins. I just talked to him. He's going to talk to his partner and try to get it for us. I think we've got it. I think we've got it. He's going to call. He's got my number.
That was the end?
I think he's got the end. Yeah.
He's sitting right up here. He's going to talk to his partner. You might have to.
Tell him I'm going to auction off and give the money to charity.
Whatever. You might have to.
So a nice gesture if that does indeed happen. Mike Piazza will auction it off. There's the news item. And here is Rick Reed digging at that pitching rubber as these Mets take the field down 2-0 to the world champion Yankees. Starting lineup for the New York Yankees brought to you by Coors Light. They lead it off with Jose Vizcaino. Who would have thought when they picked Vizcaino up June 21st from the Dodgers, he would be so involved in the 2000 World Series. He leads off at second. Derek Jeter batting second at short. David Justice hitting third. Then it's Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez, and Jorge Posada in the middle. Paul O'Neill's in right. Scott Brocious hits eighth. And Orlando El Duque Hernandez pitching and batting ninth. The defense for the New York Mets. No surprises here. In fact, the same defensive alignment as they had in Game 2. Game 2 was particularly ugly defensively for the Mets with their 3 errors. And on the mound is the right-hander who was admittedly nervous prior to his Game 3 start in the National League Championship Series here at Shea against St. Louis. Rick Reed.
He's admittedly nervous before every regular season start. And as you said, Joe, during the LCS, well, how must he feel right now? 11-5 on the year. The Mets were 20-9 in games started by Reed. He learned his two-seam fastball, interestingly, from Greg Maddux when the 1996 World Series was televised. The shots of Greg Maddux in the glove, and he had just finished a season at Norfolk when he was 8-10 for Bobby Valentine, the AAA affiliate of the Mets. Pitched for Bobby that year. Not a good record, but he said, I need another pitch. And he learned that other pitch during the 1996 series.
8-10 that year at Norfolk. There's Orlando Hernandez, and over a shot of him will tell you this broadcast also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. Well, away we go. Jose Vizcaino, who used to call Shea Stadium home for a short while in his career. He's bounced around and he has landed firmly on his feet in a Yankee uniform. Made the start in each of these 3 games of this 2000 World Series, and a strike on the outside corner to start Game 3. Knobloch is on the bench. Originally the plan was for Knobloch to play second base. He hasn't played defensively in about 3 weeks. Joe Torre thought it would be unfair to throw him back out there defensively with all of his struggles this season and last. Jeff Kellogg, the home plate umpire. The rest of his crew as this crowd gets into it for an 0-2 pitch.
Rick Reed, everything is off the fastball. And with 2 strikes on a left-handed batter, you will see this all night from that center field camera. That tailing fastball that left-handers give up on. It's a late little tail on it.
Still 0-2. So it's Vizcaino, then Jeter, then Justice. The Yankees jumped on top in Game 2 with 2 in the first and 1 in the second. Never trailed. 1 at 6-5. 0-2 to Vizcaino. In the air to right for Perez. Well, 1 down.
The shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter.
Here's Jeter. The numbers for this postseason in this World Series, 4 out of 9. Jeter has hit in 11 consecutive World Series games. Strike one. Runaway train. Well, that's one way to put it. 14 consecutive World Series victories, which is an all-time Major League Baseball record. 7 straight World Series wins on the road. Their last loss in 1981 in the Dodgers series. Orlando Hernandez 8-0 in his career in the postseason. There's the hitting streak for Jeter. Hernandez on the mound tonight for the Yankees. 0-2 on Jeter.
You notice that Rick Reed is not necessarily a low ball pitcher. As a matter of fact, neither starter tonight, Hernandez nor Reed, are guys who get a lot of ground balls. You mentioned everything off the fastball. Both pitchers have to be very fine in the inside corner and the outside corners.
Two out.
As he was on this pitch. Right on the corner.
That's that same sinker you talked about, Tim, that starts inside to the left. He tails back over the inside corner. Same effect on a right-handed hitter. The pitch appears to be off the plate. Good late movement right over the outside corner.
Now David Justice. Three home runs in this postseason, 11 RBIs so far in this World Series, 1 for 7. Justice standing in the way of a perfect first inning for Rick Reed, working on 9 days rest. 0-1. Finesse type pitcher is Reed, as you're talking about, and sometimes the worry is with someone in that category as opposed to a Roger Clemens, who seems to get recharged with extra rest. If the arm is too fresh, the stuff isn't as good. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Nice hat.
The few wearing a color other than blue here at Shea Stadium. They are packed in. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 out, nobody on. Justice takes ball 2. Bernie Williams on deck for the Yankees. Reed did not face the Yankees this year, 0-2 lifetime with an ERA of over 5. 3-1.
You could see before that pitch, Piazza put down a sign, and Rick Reed wiped once on the left side of his uniform. Usually that's adding 1 to whatever Piazza put down. It's a bad thing for a pitcher to get in the habit of, because usually if he wipes, it's going to be something other than a fastball.
A 2-out walk. Reed misses the outside corner. A 2-out walk to Justice, and this first inning will continue. For Bernie Williams, who was just putting on a display during batting practice that was eye-popping. Pounding 1 ball after another over the wall here at Shea, and hitting one off the big scoreboard out in right center field, halfway up the billboard on the right side of that scoreboard. So here he stands batting in the first inning. A 2-out walk to Justice, and a strike on the outside corner from Reed. Tim mentioned it, the Mets during the regular season won 55 games here at Shea Stadium. The best record in baseball. One ball, 1 strike.
Mets were 55-25 at this ballpark. The San Francisco Giants were 55-26. The reason for the disparity, one of the home games the Mets played was in Japan, the first game of the season.
Check on Justice over at first. Strike two on Bernie Williams. Again, this crowd swells as they try to help their Mets get through a scoreless first inning.
Here's a two-strike situation, and Bernie Williams and the Yankees well aware that Reed tries to run that fastball inside with two strikes. Here he comes.
Was just high in the count, 2-2.
See where Piazza set up. Rick Reed and Piazza wanted that pitch. I guess it was called because it was too high. Wow, very, very close.
Two balls, two strikes. Runner at first with two out. Now a full count, and Justice will take off over at first base.
We talked about it the other night. That 2-2 pitch with two outs and a runner on first base is a very important pitch because the runner's not running 2-2, but he's compelled to with the count 3-2. That's why Todd Zeile is playing behind David Justice at first.
Bernie Williams looking for his first hit of this World Series. Called at the plate. Justice runs, strike three call. That tailing pitch. The arms of Bernie Williams went up, and now he'll head out to the field. 1/2 inning at Shea, no score. Orlando Hernandez is making his 11th postseason start in his career. The Yankees have won his first 10. Take a look at the starting lineup for the Mets, brought to you by Coors Light. Timo Perez leads off in right field. Edgardo Alfonzo batting second at second. Mike Piazza hits third. He's the catcher with Robin Ventura cleaning up. Todd Zeile has a 7-game hitting streak alive in this postseason. And it's Agbayani in left. Jay Payton in center. Mike Bordick in short. And Rick Reed pitching and batting ninth. The defense for the Yankees, same look. Justice, Williams, O'Neill in the outfield with Brocious, Jeter, Vizcaíno again, and Tino Martinez at first. Jorge Posada catching El Duque.
12-13, his worst of his 3 years with the Yankees. And similar to Rick Reed, but even more pronounced, he gets a lot of fly balls. That's why he gave up 34 home runs on the year. Third most home runs given up in the American League.
Timo Perez, Bob Brenly talking about what he has done or hasn't done in this World Series. 1 out of 10 so far, and he takes ball 1.
You know, Joe, in his defense, when he was called up from Norfolk on August 30th, from that point to the end of the regular season, he had 49 at-bats. He's had 50 at-bats this year in the postseason, so he's still learning.
1 ball, 1 strike. Take a look at what's gone on in the first inning in this postseason, at least the last 2 rounds in the National League Championship Series, the 5 games. The Mets scored 12 runs so far in the first 2 games. 1-2-3, 1-2-3. Sides gone in order in games 1 and 2, and now Perez is in the hole at a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
2 fastballs and a curveball. They want Perez to hit the ball in the air. Alfonso on deck.
That's in the air and out of play left side.
That's the type of swing they're trying to force with Perez. He's not a power hitter. He hit 1 home run in September. That was an inside the park home run. So you'll see a lot of fastballs up in the strike zone on Timo Perez.
Mets as a team in this postseason hitting only .234.
There have been a lot of players like Timo Perez in the big leagues, and it's a very simple scouting report. Pitch him away, play him away. Throw the ball up and out over the plate, let him hit it to the big part of the ballpark. He doesn't have enough opposite field power to hurt you to left.
Perez is gone. And no leadoff home run in this Game 3 for the Mets, which they had done in each of the previous World Series in their team history.
You get the idea with Hernandez missing with the fastball. Now after the curveball, watch him go up the ladder. Upstairs, got him on the high fastball.
So now 1 out of 11 and Edgardo Alfonzo bats. Strike one. The guys talked about it during the pregame that Orlando Hernandez had trouble with that pitching elbow. In fact, during this season, Hernandez had 2 4-game losing streaks. He was on the disabled list. Tightness in his elbow and his upper back. He had inflammation in that elbow. Home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg telling each bench that the pitcher is allowed to blow into his pitching hand while on the mound. It's a chilly evening, not cold by any means here at Shea, as Alfonso's late. It's 0-2. After Alfonso, it's Piazza. No score, bottom of the first. And the 0-2. 1-2. A little different look there from El Duque as he dropped down sidearm on Alfonso.
That high leg kick and then dropping down. He has many different deliveries. Very difficult to pick up.
Does it again, and this time Alfonso goes after it. Back-to-back strikeouts. First 2 are gone. And Piazza walks in. Clemens on the top step of the Yankees dugout, getting a good look at Piazza facing Hernandez. Ball 1. Piazza 2 hits in this World Series. A single then was picked off, caught stealing, whatever you want to call it, in Game 1. In Game 2, 2 nights ago, a 9th inning 2-run home run off the fair pole or foul pole, whatever you want to call it.
Either one.
Against Nelson in the 9th.
Mets scoring 5 runs in the top of the 9th the other night. Yankees squeaking by with a 6-5 win.
On the outside corner, a ball and a strike. Bases empty, 2 out. Piazza chased 1 up and out of the strike zone. 1-2.
Good low ball hitter. Hernandez went up the ladder on Perez and again on Piazza.
El Duque struck out the side in the bottom of the first. Perez, Alfonso, Piazza. After a solid start by Rick Reed in the top of this first inning, Game 3. El Duque did his thing. After 1, no score. Rick Reed back to work. Second inning, no score. It'll be Tino Martinez, Jorge Posada, Paul O'Neill, and strike 1. Martinez, a .258 hitter during the regular season, 5 out of 11 in this World Series, and hitting .382 in the postseason. 0-2.
Tino Martinez, one of the few left-handed hitters who's a high ball hitter, going after this high fastball from Reed. Most left-handers are low ball hitters.
1 out, third strikeout for Reed.
The sequence was a curveball and then 2 high fastballs. But as we said earlier, Rick Reed is working the inside part of the plate to left-handed batters once he gets ahead.
Martinez with his scouting report over in the Yankee dugout as Jorge Posada digs in. Only a .227 hitter during this postseason. 3 out of 8 in the World Series. Hasn't gone deep during the month of October. Hit 28 home runs during the regular season.
Joe, we were talking about it before the game. Jorge Posada, in my view, is the biggest threat in the Yankee lineup against a guy like Rick Reed. Reed does not throw hard. Posada is a very, very good change-up hitter and a fastball hitter. That's an odd combination. Does not handle the breaking ball well. That was a change-up right there from Reed. Something straight, though. He hits very, very hard.
Reed with a count 1 ball 1 strike. Straightens up Posada 2-1.
One thing the Yankees offensively have done well throughout this World Series is go the opposite way, especially when they're behind in the count. Going to have to do the same thing against Rick Reed in the ball game tonight, because as you mentioned in the scouting report, he's an east-west guy, in and out.
2-2.
The reason that it's important to go the other way when you're ahead in the count is because that's where the pitcher's going to work, outside. Rarely will a pitcher try to jam you when he's behind.
Back-to-back strikeouts and 4 on the night already for Rick Reed. That'll bring in Paul O'Neill. We've already touched on the relationship between Joe Torre and his right fielder. Here's more from the Yankee skipper.
Paul O'Neill, George Steinbrenner characterized him a few years ago as a warrior. And I think if there was ever a perfect word for him to describe him, that was it.
Not healthy, bothered by a sore right hip. A couple of cortisone injections late in the year to try to relieve some of the pain and pressure, but not running well. Not hitting the ball with really much authority or much pop. He's not gone deep in this postseason. We talked about it in Game 1. Since September 3rd, including the postseason, he's hit only 1 home run. That's down the left field line, slicing toward the corner. It's fair. 1 hop over the wall, a ground rule double. And the Yankees have the game's first hit.
In the last 2 games, Paul O'Neill has as many extra base hits as he had in the previous 31 games. First runner in scoring position for either club, and that's what Bob was talking about, going the other way when you're behind in the count. And Reed throwing that fastball away, and that's all Paul O'Neill did. He roped down the left field line.
Now it's Brocious. A career .410 hitter during World Series play. Reed gets the outside corner.
I think if Scott is to get a hit in this at bat, it's going to have to be something away with the pitcher on deck. Keep in mind, Orlando Hernandez has only hit 19 times in 3 years.
Away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Brocious, 64 RBIs during the regular season. Trying to put the Yankees on top here in the second. O'Neill at second, 2 out. On the outside corner again, it's 1-2.
That was a mistake right there. With a runaround at second base, a lot of times a catcher doesn't want to set up too early. What he did, he moved inside and then he moved outside. He moved inside first and then he set up outside.
Roche is set up at a ball and 2 strikes. Strikes out the side. Well, the weather has just been ideal so far in this 2000 World Series. And up above is the Bud One airship, seen by millions in its ongoing Goodwill Tour. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball and the World Series. Bruce Willis adds his name to the list, the ever-growing list of stars and starlets that have been on display during this World Series as Ventura hits one into right. O'Neill at the wall to say goodbye.
Robin Ventura went up there looking for a fastball away. He got it. And remember, we talked about Orlando Hernandez, 34 home runs hit against El Duque this season, the 3rd most in the American League.
Now Zeal takes a strike.
High and out over the plate. You can see Posada setting up. If you don't guess pitch, you guess location, and Robin Ventura guessed right.
Zeal trying to hold up. It's 0-2. The Mets bench. When that ball left the park, reaction from Hernandez. Used to that, as Tim mentioned, with 34 home runs during the regular season that he allowed while on the mound. Compared to 24 last year. Last year was his first full year in the big leagues. 11 the year before. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Zeal.
Only the great Pedro Martinez of the Red Sox held right-handed batters to a lower average than Hernandez, but lefties he has trouble with.
They appeal, and Zeal held up according to the first base umpire Tim Welke, 2-2.
And that's one of the reasons that left-handers give him trouble. He can't do that to left-handed hitters. He can't drop down to them as he does to right-handers and make that left side give a little.
Looked like Zeal caught a break on that check swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zeal, who struggled at the end of the season, hit only 190 the last 5 weeks of the regular season and went 1 out of 14 in the division series, but hit .368 in the LCS with 8 RBIs. 4 out of 9 in this World Series, and he's narrowly missed 2 home runs. Still 2-2. What do they look like? Game 1 off the top of the wall and left. The end of the play, Timo Perez thrown out at the plate, and then in game 2, Clay Bellinger on the other end of this drive. Pitch delivered by Rivera and caught at the top of the wall. Base is empty here. Nobody out. A run in for the Mets and a home run by Ventura. Mets down 2-0. Lead 1-0. 1 out. 4 strikeouts now for El Duque.
Dropping down, fastball, outside corner. Right there.
The left fielder. Number 50.
When he drops down, that front side of the right-handed batter has a tendency to give a little bit, just enough to get his man.
Here's Agbayani. We sat in manager Bobby Valentine's office prior to the game. Brought the question up about at least toying with the idea of inserting another left-handed batter in the lineup, a guy like Darrell Hamilton who could play the outfield, because of what we're seeing. Orlando Hernandez and how he disposes of right-handed batters. One of the 2 lefties that Hernandez has faced in this game just homered off him, Robin Ventura. But Bobby Valentine straightened up in his chair behind his desk and said, why would I think that? Not going to take Benny Agbayani out of the lineup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It had been talked about in the papers here. I guess those who were assigned to write articles on things other than the Clemens Piazza situation. But it didn't happen. Same lineup for the Mets. Agbayani 3 out of 8 in this World Series.
You mentioned the show that Bernie Williams put on in batting practice for the Yankees today. Agbayani doing pretty much the same thing for the Mets. Granted, that was 3 hours before game time against John Stearns, but Agbayani swinging the bat well early today.
2 balls, 2 strikes. During the regular season, left-handed batters hit .280 against Hernandez. Right-handers .210. Bit of the reverse in the postseason, but a much larger study during the regular year when Hernandez threw 195 2/3 innings. Outside corner, and the 5th strikeout for Hernandez.
We told you before the game in our scouting reports that both pitchers live east and west. It's kind of east side, west side, all around the plate. Both Reed and Hernandez have been dominating the left side of the plate, the left corner of the plate. Reed to left-handers, Hernandez to right-handers.
That last pitch, the far east, but 3 or 4 inches off the corner. 2 out, nobody on, and Payton stands in and takes a strike. 2 out of 9 in this World Series, 178 overall in the postseason for Jay. 27-year-old rookie who hit 17 home runs during the regular season. Lead-off home run by Ventura. Zeal struck out. Agbayani struck out. A 1-1 count on Payton. Strike 2. The Mets had a short-lived lead in game 1 when they got 3 runs in the top of the 7th. The Yankees tied the game in the bottom of the 9th and won at the 12th on the hit by Vizcaíno. The Yankees led throughout in game 2. That's made it close in the 9th inning, but lost 6-5. Payton stays alive, and here in the 2nd, the Mets with an early lead. First time they've been able to do that in this series. 1-0 on the home run by Ventura. Orlando Hernandez has recorded 5 outs. All 5 strikeouts. He has Peyton set up. Jay doing a good job of spoiling the last 2 pitches.
One thing you do with Orlando Hernandez, if you get runners on base, you take away his high leg kick. A high leg kick's truly remarkable. A higher leg kick than anybody in the major leagues. He's talking to Posada right there in Spanish. Of course, Jay Payton, born in Zanesville, Ohio. I do not believe Jay picks up on Spanish.
The 1-2. Payton able to lay off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. What's that bridge in Ohio again there, Bob?
It's a Y-shaped bridge in Zanesville, Ohio. The bridge actually goes across the Muskingum River and splits. You can go right and you can go left. I believe it's the only one in the country.
That's not it.
That's not it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Payton trying to keep the 2nd inning alive for the Mets. Cannot. Hernandez has struck out 6. But leading off this 2nd inning for the Mets, giving them an early lead for the first time in this 2000 World Series. Robin Ventura. He goes deep. 1-0 Mets after 2. Back after this from your local Fox station. During the regular season, Orlando Hernandez was 0 for 9 at the plate during interleague play. 1 sacrifice bunt, 7 strikeouts. And in his career, an .053 hitter. And it's quickly 0-2 from Rick Reed. Already 11 strikeouts combined between these two. You don't expect that out of Reed. That makes 12. 6 on each side as Reed takes care of his counterpart, El Duque. 1 out here in the 3rd inning.
There have been 13 outs recorded, 12 strikeouts. The only ball put in play for an out was Jose Vizcaino's fly ball to Perez in the 1st inning. Pitchers are throwing a lot of air balls tonight.
Here is Vizcaino. Joe Torre came into this World Series with options at 2nd base. I would think it's fair to say that Vizcaino was probably option number 3, except for Vizcaino's success in his history against Al Leiter, the Game 1 starter. 10 out of 19 career going into that game. And then Vizcaino took advantage of that start by getting 4 hits, including singles in his last 3 at-bats in the 9th, the 11th, and the 12th. Drove in the game winner in the bottom of the 12th. The bases loaded, 2 out. 2 balls and a strike.
Now, you don't want to check swing on a 2-0 count. That's good news for Rick Reed, good news for the Mets. If his ball's moving this much, when an experienced hitter has a check swing on a 2-0 pitch, that's good news for Mets fans. You can understand a swing like that would count 0-2, but not 2-0.
Now the 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Had that shot at Joe Torre in the dugout for the Yankees. We get a chance to visit with each manager prior to the game, and just sitting in Joe Torre's office, you can see it on his face with his body language. We asked him the question if he was having any fun, and he said no. This isn't fun. Breaking ball chopped to short for Bordick. Got it. 2 gone. And the reason that's the case with Joe Torre not having fun is everything that went on in Game 2. There's a smile from the former Met player and player manager and then manager.
This is the time it's the most fun.
That's true. Yeah. Told us that. He said the only time I'm really having a good time in this series, and he's been a guy that's always been critical of interleague play, and especially interleague play here in New York because of all the hype that surrounds the Yankees and Mets getting together. But this World Series and the extracurricular activities worn him down. Jeter hits a sinking line drive into left. Agbayani, a good play to cut it off and hold Jeter to a single. A 2-out single here in the 3rd inning.
Fine play by Agbayani in left center field. A high breaking ball to Jeter. Second hit for the Yankees, the other a double by Paul O'Neill. Both have been 2-out hits. Nice play, nice pivot by Agbayani. If an outfielder gets to the ball and throws it into second base, it doesn't necessarily have to be a good throw. The fact that he's there and gets rid of it quickly will stop the runner. Jeter making a wide turn. Excuse me, Bob.
You could clearly see Jeter had to lower his eyes just for a moment to pick up the base, and in that time the ball was in the air. When he turns the corner at first base, he sees the ball in the air, has no choice but to hit the brakes.
Here's Justice, who walked his first time. Runner at first, and Jeter draws a throw.
Running situation right here. Rick Reed does not have a quick move home, but he has quick feet and a good move to first base.
Quick feet, the throw over, and Jeter back in time. Derek Jeter now with that 12-game hitting streak in World Series play, and he has reached base 54 of 59 career postseason games. He is automatic as Justice takes strike one.
Mike Piazza with the worst percentage in the major leagues throwing out attempted base stealers this season. I fully expect Derek Jeter to be on the move here.
Stole 22 bases during the regular season. Ball and a strike.
A lot of times if a left-handed power hitter is up there, a manager or a base runner will allow the power hitter to get to 2 strikes. It's 1 and 2. Then he'll steal.
Good pitch in on the hands of Justice. 1 and 2.
Good running situation right here. If Jeter's thrown out, Justice leads off the 4th. A high, tight fastball to go ahead in the count.
And with that, another throw to first. Reed allowed a 2-out walk to Justice in the first, got around it by striking out Williams. A 2-out double to O'Neill in the second, struck out Brocious to end the inning. 2-out single by Jeter here in the 3rd inning. And a 2-2 count on Justice.
You could tell how Piazza came out of his crouch there, that he was anticipating Jeter running. Watch how Mike Piazza jumps up at this ball, fully expecting Jeter to be running. Nothing doing.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Tying run at first, 2 out. There goes Jeter. Got a great jump, and Justice pops it foul, back and out of play.
What a jump. You're right, Joe. I mean, 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. 2.5.
I'll give him 3.
All right. Yeah,
you saw 3, didn't you?
Yeah,
Absolutely. 3 and an 8.
Understandable that Jeter wouldn't run early because, as you said earlier, Rick Reed has not faced the Yankees that much. And regardless of how many scouting reports you get, you got to see him yourself from first base.
Jeter running again as Justice again fouls it out of play.
Not quite as good a jump as the last pitch, but good enough.
Stolen base department in the postseason. Not running as Justice hits it fair past first. Might tie the game. Perez into the corner to cut it off. They bring Jeter around. Thrown by Alfonso to the plate, too late. And it's 1-1 in the 3rd.
one of the more remarkable statistics of the 2000 season, excluding stolen bases, caught stealing, Derek Jeter this year has been tagged out once at second, third, or home. Once. And that remains intact. Uncanny instincts on the bases.
It's an RBI double for Justice in the play at the plate. High throw from Alfonso, not close. Now the go-ahead run at third with 2 out for Bernie Williams, who struck out his first time and takes a strike. David Justice with his 12th RBI of this postseason. One ball, one strike. Bernie Williams is playing in his 17th World Series game. He came in with a career batting average of 133 compared to 386 in his career during LCS play. Takes strike 2. It's 1-2 as Williams stands there 0 for 8 in this 2000 World Series.
Reed continues to exploit the left-handers in that little blind spot with that late tailing fastball inside. That's the pitch, or that's the action on that pitch. You give up on it, you think it's inside, tails over the plate. Here it comes again.
And Williams gets a piece.
You folks at home can tell by Mike Piazza, you know it's that pitch to left-handers because you're not going to throw anything off speed inside the left-handed batters. Reed doesn't have a pitch. So whenever Piazza moves inside to a left-hander, it's that pitch, that tailing fastball.
Williams still up there with a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
That time you could clearly see Piazza calling for the fastball inside and then flipped his thumb up. He wanted that fastball up above the hands. Reed put it in a good spot. Williams only able to foul it off.
Yankees trying to take a third-inning lead. That's out of play.
What's the idea of pounding a left-handed hitter in with that late tailing fastball? It opens up that outside corner. Tried to go away that time with a sinker to Bernie Williams, and many times you'll get a very defensive swing after a hitter's been pounded in on the hands early in the count. That time Williams able once again to stay alive. Going back outside with that tailing fastball. Williams able to get a piece.
Two-out RBI double by Justice. A 1-2 to Williams. Alfonso ends up with a big hop to throw out Bernie Williams and end the top of the third. A double down the right field line by David Justice, and the 26-year-old legs of Derek Jeter carried him around the bases to tie this game 3 in the third. We're 1-1. Well, did you know in the stands tonight is a cast of That 70s Show. Be sure not to miss their Halloween special next Tuesday, Halloween night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox Tuesday. That's Mila Kunis and Danny Masterson. Danny kind of looks like one of the guys from NSYNC, and I know that you enjoyed the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
That was one of the best renditions of the Star Spangled Banner that I've heard in a while.
Hit the record stores tomorrow.
NSYNC is on my list.
Yeah?
Yes, sir, brother.
That's what the kids are listening to. You'll have their posters up in your bedroom.
Join the fan club.
Right.
Well, you led me right into that one.
That's right. 1 ball, no strikes. Now 2-0 on Bordick, the number 8 hitter, with Rick Reed, decent hitting pitcher to follow, and then Timo Perez against Orlando Hernandez. 1-1 game. Pretty good swing. Bordick 2-1 now, and Bordick has had a miserable postseason at the plate. 3 out of 28. 0 runs batted in. I know you're excited about that sound system here at Shea Stadium.
Yes, I am.
Extra speakers that they brought in. 2 balls and a strike, and now Bordick hits it in the air to left. Well hit. Back is Justice to put it away. 1 out.
And a deep sigh of relief from El Duque. The pitchers in tonight's game have different ways of delivering the ball. Look at the high leg kick of El Duque. Almost past his left shoulder. That little tuck and drive. Rick Reed, on the other hand, lifts it to the lower part of the letters. Both very effective so far, but both different ways in getting it home.
The first thing that strikes you when you stand next to Orlando Hernandez, and I recommend it highly if you get the chance out there, his legs. He has some kind of foundation. Enormous legs, and obviously tremendous elasticity as Rick Reed gets a base hit through the left side. The second Mets hit of the night, and it belongs to Reed, who had 10 hits during the regular season.
That's one advantage the Mets have. They have 9 hitters in their lineup, and the Yankees have 8 because Hernandez has only been up 20 times. Rick Reed is a very good bat handler. He had 10 hits this year and 14 sacrifice bunts.
Well, apparently Derek Jeter and the Yankees did not feel Rick Reed could pull El Duque because Derek Jeter was shaded way up the middle of the field, leaving a huge hole on that left side for Reed to dribble that base hit through.
Now it's Perez. Say it again. It used to be. Who is Timo Perez? Breaking ball high, ball 1.
Well, in this series, it's been where is Timo Perez? I mean, he was in the middle of every offensive inning that the Mets had in the division series in the NLCS. Really gave him a spark at the top of the order that they did not have even throughout the regular season.
One ball, one strike. You could have made a strong case for Perez being the National League Championship Series most valuable player. Definitely on the list. Mike Hampton got the nod, but Perez was vital to the Mets attack, not only in their lineup and at the plate, but out in right field. And another ball in the air off the bat of Perez. Jim said that's what the Yankees and others try to do with Timo, and that's 2 out.
Not to be picking on Timo Perez, but it's not unusual for a young player to burst upon the scene, have initial success until the scouts get an opportunity to watch him play, watch him take a few more at-bats, watch him make a few outs and see how teams go about getting him out, and then try to duplicate that in your own games.
Struck out on a high fastball as first at bat, flied out on a high fastball as second at bat.
Edgardo Alfonzo now. He struck out in his first at bat. Mike Piazza next, either here in the 3rd inning or leading off the 4th. Leading off the 4th for the Yankees will be Tino Martinez. A 1-1 game, bottom of inning number 3. Ball 1. And Alfonzo a tough time staying away from that same delivery in his first at bat. Against the Mets in his career, Hernandez 3 starts, a record of 2-0 and an ERA of 2.05. 1 ball, 1 strike, and you can trace this postseason dominance on the part of El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, when the world was more aware of that nickname El Duque. Back in 1998 American League Championship Series, with the Yankees down 2-1. 7 shutout innings and only 3 hits. And a win over the Indians. The Yankees went on to win the World Series that year. The Padres, 2 balls and a strike on Alfonso.
He was very upset. The Yankees were going with a 4-man rotation in postseason, and the first 3 pitchers pitched, and El Duque thought he should have started the opening game in Cleveland. But Joe Torre went back to the 3-man rotation, and El Duque started the 7th postseason game and the 4th game in the ALCS, and won a huge ball game against Cleveland. And then the Yankees never looked back, beating San Diego 4 straight.
Neither is he. 8-0 in his career. 2 balls and a strike. That's on the outside corner, according to Jeff Kellogg, and the count 2-2.
A wide plate will benefit both pitchers. Boy, they have been making some pitches on the outside part of the plate, or from their vantage point, the left side of the plate tonight.
2-2 to Alfonso. Go after it. Nasty pitch. Full count. Now Rick Reed will get a head start at first. Again, Piazza waits to hit next.
Alfonso has a tendency to go to right field with 2 strikes on it. A very, very good 2-strike hitter.
Reed goes, and Alfonso with a big rip. Still 3-2.
He's missed 2 pitches on this at bat. Fouled them both back.
Reed goes, and Alfonso pops it up. Vizcaíno wants it. We are through 3 innings here in game 3. A 1-out hit by Reed. He is stranded. First runner stranded by the Mets, and after 3, tied at 1. Well, for a little Subway Series inspiration, Mets fans need only to go back to 1955, the World Series. Brooklyn Dodgers were down 0-2 in 1955 to the Yankees, with the series going to Ebbets Field. And if you flash ahead to game 7, Yogi Berra's 6th inning drive in game 7, caught in spectacular fashion by Sandy Amoros in the left field corner at Yankee Stadium, preserved the 2-0 shutout, hurled and authored by Johnny Padres, and that was the Brooklyn Dodgers' only world championship.
Don Zimmer, the starting second baseman in that game. Junior Gilliam started in left field, and when Zim was pinch hit for in the middle innings, Gilliam came in to play second base, and Sandy Amoros, who had the glove on the right side, was able to make that catch.
There's Zim from the 50s. All right, we'll compare.
Tommy Byrne, the left-hander, had started that game. That's why Zimmer was playing second. And then he was relieved by Bob Grimm, who the previous year was the Yankees Rookie of the Year.
Zimmer was also the Mets' first third baseman.
Right.
In those early years with the Mets, they brought a lot of superstars from years past in this city back to play for the Mets and try to get this franchise up and running and make it a little more popular, as Tino Martinez lines one into right field. A base hit and a good start to this 4th inning for the Yankees.
Don Zimmer and Joe Torre have a very special relationship, And here is Don Zimmer on his working relationship with the guy to his right.
If I make a suggestion and it works, he is still the man that has to okay it. If I make a suggestion that it doesn't work, he's the one that has to answer to the media. Nobody's perfect, but I would say overall in 5 years, we've worked pretty good together.
Well, there is no questioning that. A leadoff single by Tino Martinez, and Posada takes ball one low. Jorge hitting .222 in this postseason. Struck out his first time up. Don Zimmer, a guy who had a gun for an arm, little pop in his bat, but was stuck for years behind Pee Wee Reese. Guy would have definitely benefited from free agency if they were part of the game back then.
Zim also was beaned when he was in the minor leagues, and in 1956 he was beaned by Hal Jeffcoat of the Cincinnati Reds and had to sit out the series that year.
1 ball, 1 strike on Posada. Martinez at first, and that's outside. 2-1. Yankees put their leadoff man on for the first time tonight here in the 4th inning on the hit by Tino Martinez. Paul O'Neill next. That'll get out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Different hat, same mug.
And a great guy.
What a great guy.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Posada. 1 on, nobody out. Yankees and Mets tied 1-1 here in the 4th inning. Got him looking. Strikeout number 7 for Rick Reed.
Guys, we've seen this pitch before, huh? Tailing fastball.
The right fielder, number 21, Paul O'Neill.
You can look at Piazza. He's almost turning his head around to his right, inquiring without saying anything. The home plate umpire, Jeff Kellogg. A little nod of the head. And he got the call.
Now Paul O'Neill, who doubled down the left field line his first time up. Runner at first with 1 out. And ball 1 outside.
A lot of times you can look at the outfielders as a hitter. You can see Jay Payton right there shaded toward left center field for the most part, and up until 2 strikes. That gives you an idea that Rick Reed's not going to come inside on you. Because right center is where the big hole is.
Away again, and it's 2-0. After O'Neill, it's Brocious. And after Brocious, the pitcher Hernandez. Big strikeout for Reed when he took care of Posada. He's fallen behind in the count. 2-0 to Paul O'Neill. Into right center field. That ball will get down and go to the wall. Tino Martinez will cruise around third and score. Headed for third is O'Neill. Bad hip and all. He is safe. An overthrow of Ventura, but the ball stays in play, and it's 2-1 Yankees here in the 4th inning.
The Mets were very, very lucky on that overthrow right there. Rick Reed was out of position and not backing up the play. And fortunately for the Mets, the ball didn't go in the stands. If you're shading a hitter into left center field, as the count progresses more toward the hitter, then you've got to go toward right center field. Payton didn't do it, and Paul O'Neill doubles. I'm not saying that Jay could have gotten that ball, but he could have perhaps cut it off and prevented Tino Martinez from scoring. As it stands, Martinez scores easily. And you have a squeeze situation right here with Scott Brocious, the batter.
O'Neill at third with one out. The infield comes in, and Brosius hit on the hand. Hand, wrist, forearm, some part. And Brosius aboard with one out here in the fourth inning.
A tailing fastball up and in almost appeared to hit Brosius in the chest as he turned into that ball. And once again, Tim, you mentioned a possibility of a squeeze. Possibility of a safety squeeze right here with El Duque coming to the plate.
That's right. Don Zimmer loves to do that.
Hit by pitch has been a part of this World Series, to be sure. Todd Pratt was plunked twice in Game 1. Game 2, Alfonso had one graze him. Then later in the game, Hampton hit Justice.
Willie Randolph got together with El Duque and talked to him, and Bobby talked about a safety squeeze. Watch him square around early in all probability.
And the bunt to Reed. Hooks O'Neill back to third and gets the out at first. The sacrifice is good, 1-4. As down to second goes Brosius.
If that happens to be a perfect bunt, the ball gets by Rick Reed. Paul O'Neill would have an opportunity to walk home from third base, but Reed, a very good fielder, bounces off the mound to make the play. Yankees with 2 runners now in scoring position for the top of their order.
So Hernandez gets it down, and now with second and third 2 out, it's up to Vizcaino. Outside corner, strike 1. Glendon Rush getting loose for the Mets out in their bullpen. Part of the Mets lineup will bat in the bottom of this fourth inning. Big at bat here for Vizcaino.
Mets have had, or the Yankees, I beg your pardon, have had such production from 1 through 8. Martinez having a good series. Paul O'Neill driving in the go-ahead run. And Scott Brosius with a home run.
That trio combining for a .214 average the last month of the regular season. They have turned it on. Postseason and especially here in the World Series. Second and third, 2 out. The 0-2 to Vizcaino. Able to lay off it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yankees with their first lead of the night. 2-1 here in the fourth inning, and a chance for more. Breaking ball grounded foul outside first. Paul O'Neill, the runner at third, his first triple since July 23rd of 1999. He has never hit a triple in the postseason, but he has one here in the fourth inning to score Tino Martinez, who had led off with a single. Brosius hit by a pitch, a good bunt by Hernandez. Second and third, 2 out, the 1-2 to Vizcaino. Got him looking, that tailing pitch yet again. 8 strikeouts for Rick Reed, and he limits the damage here in the fourth inning. 1 run, 2 hits. The RBI triple by Paul O'Neill, bottom of the fourth inning at Shea. 2-1 Yankees. First pitch at the bottom of the fourth inning on its way to Mike Piazza. A foul tip off Posada for strike 1. It'll be Piazza, Ventura, Zeal. The Yankees have their first lead of the night after an RBI triple hit by O'Neill in the top of the inning to score Tino Martinez. Piazza, strikeout victim back in the first.
High fastball. Piazza striking out his first time up. Hey, he is swinging like that right knee. He had tendonitis toward the end of the season, but he is not pushing off that knee well at all. Almost swinging flat-footed.
Chasing it and gone, and the strikeout victim number 7 for Orlando Hernandez.
Now this swing with Hernandez dropping down, you can see Piazza waving at him. Mike can look so bad and want it back and then come back with the long ball and his next at bat. He's done it time and time again, but waving futilely at that breaking ball from Hernandez.
So one out here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and now Ventura, who homered leading off the 2nd for the Mets. To the right side and off Tino Martinez, shallow right. Ventura will dig for 2nd. Throw by O'Neill, not in time.
That ball hit something and kicked back toward the field. It took a bad hop on Tino Martinez. Tino has his eyes set on this one. And on that 2nd hop, right there, it kicks back and hits him on the right side. Watch it go to the left. Boom, right there. Actually hit him on the right hip. And floats into right field. And Robin Ventura with a double. But that's normally a ball on a routine hop that Tino Martinez sucks up.
Shea Stadium has been known over the years as a very tough infield. You get a lot of bad hops, not only off the dirt, but off the grass as well.
It is a double for Ventura. And now Zeal. Two to one, the Yankees lead, bottom of the 4th. Game 3. Strike 1.
Mets desperately trying to get their crowd back into the game. The only time they've been raucous and boisterous tonight was after the home run by Ventura.
Zeal trying to help make that happen. Hernandez looking for his 8th strikeout. And he found it over the outside corner, 2 gone.
Todd Zeal has only swung at the first pitch less than 10% this year, but on this sequence, it's the best pitch to handle. Breaking ball, fastball. And El Duque has been wearing out that outside corner to right-handed batters.
Number 8 goes up. Backward K got Zeal looking, and now Agbayani. Ball 1. Agbayani struck out his first time. 3 out of 9 in this series. No RBIs. 4 RBIs in the postseason. Agbayani into right for Paul O'Neill. And the 1-out double by Ventura wasted here in the 4th inning. 5th inning now, game 3. Yankees leading the series 2-0 and leading the Mets tonight 2-1. Up above Queens tonight, Bud One Airship, which travels throughout the year and appears at many exciting sporting events across the country. Been with us through this World Series to this point. We're glad they're with us tonight as Game 3 slips into the 5th inning. Yankees bat. Lead the series 2 games to none, and this game 2-1. Derek Jeter first up, and a strike over the inside corner. It'll be Jeter, then Justice, then Williams. RBIs tonight for the Yankees by Justice and O'Neill. It's too far outside, a ball and a strike. On a 1-1, Jeter shoots at foul.
Derek Jeter, 26 years old. We mentioned it the other night. He already has 3 World Series rings. It's almost like as a tree grows and matures with more rings, so does Derek Jeter.
Certainly seems like he's been around a lot longer than that. 26 years old. Leading it off in the 5th inning, and he grounds one to the left side. Bordick won't have a play on it. Jeter's on with a leadoff single. He's 2 out of 3 tonight, and again a 12-game hitting streak in World Series play. A lot of strikeouts tonight from each side, and while we take a look at some of those strikeouts, we give you the St. Paul Company's trivia question. Which pitcher had the most strikeouts in a World Series game? He says with a smile creeping onto his face, looking to the man to his right.
Finally know one of those things.
Congratulations. You had to take part in the event to get it right. One on, nobody out, and a check on Jeter. 15 strikeouts total so far tonight. 8 for Hernandez, and make it 16. 8 for Rick Reed. Got Vizcaíno, his last one, to end the top of the 4th with 2 on. Jeter's running, and Justice goes down the left field line into the corner. Agbayani there, and he missed it. Agbayani got a glove on it, couldn't hang on, and that's just strike 1.
It's a foul ball, but a ball very catchable, as Agbayani. It's one of those where the wall is near the ball and he misses it, but that ball very catchable, very catchable.
So a no ball, 1 strike count on Justice. He's had a good night already. A walk back in the 1st inning, an RBI double with 2 out down the right field line in the 3rd.
No error given on the play. But you're giving a great hitter another chance.
There's quick feet again, and a check on Jeter. Back in the 3rd inning was on at first. 2 strikes. Jeter had been running on consecutive pitches, then he stayed put. It was on that pitch when Jeter wasn't running that Justice doubled past Zeile and down the right field line to tie the game at 1. Since then, a leadoff single by Tino Martinez in the 4th, and a 1-out RBI triple by Paul O'Neill, as the Yankees on top 2-1. On the outside corner, it's 0-2.
Front corner, now David Justice, like all the left-handers for the Yankees tonight, vulnerable to that tailing fastball inside.
The 0-2. Ball and 2 strikes. Coming in, a lot was made about the pitching matchups. Obviously, the pitching matchups in the first 2 games of this World Series, in some respects, favored the Mets because of the left-handers. First Leiter, then Hampton. against the right-hander Reed. This is high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The lefties did not pose much of a problem for Paul O'Neill, Tino Martinez, and David Justice, who were 7 out of 17 with 5 RBIs in the first 2 games. Now the right-hander Reed and the Yankees would seem to match up better against Rick Reed than they would either Leiter or Hampton. As Jeter goes, Justice fouls another one away. While we have a moment, it's copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without expressed written consent of Major League Baseball. Who's listening? Make sure we did that. Two balls, 2 strikes. Jeter running. Justice pops it up. Back to first, Jeter, 1 out. So a little different scenario than we had in the league championship series. Frank Robinson, Bud Selig's right-hand man, he was in the seats on a cell phone. Tonight it's Bud with some rather high-tech earphones on, making sure that everything we say passes inspection. Laughing at everything. Give us a wave, Commissioner. Commissioner, we're looking at you. Doesn't have a mic, unfortunately.
Joe, your calls are being monitored for quality purposes.
I guess so. They're being recorded. He's finished. Now he's talking to Billy Crystal. One on, 1 out. Bernie Williams. Strike 1. And 1 on Williams. The commissioner has been busy answering questions about the Roger Clemens, Mike Piazza incident from Game 2. A couple of news items about that situation that we've been handed here tonight. Jeter at first, he's running again, and Williams grounds to first. 2 out, down to second, Jeter. The guys on the pregame show, Keith and Steve, read the release, but I'll say it again for those of you just tuning in. Major League Baseball has fined New York Yankees pitcher Roger Clemens an undisclosed amount for inappropriate conduct during the first inning of Game 2 of the World Series at Yankee Stadium 2 nights ago. That was from Frank Robinson, Major League Baseball Vice President of On-Field Operations, and that was announced today. Since that announcement came out, Roger Clemens has issued a statement. Right now it's baseball on our minds with a runner at second, 2 out, and Tino Martinez at the plate. Ball 1. Martinez trying to add to the Yankee lead here in the 5th inning. Leadoff hit by Jeter. Justice popped out. Bernie Williams grounded out. Rick Reed's talking to himself and trying to figure out a way to get through the 5th. Bobby Valentine has already had Glendon Rush warming once, and as we look out into the Mets bullpen, he's throwing again. Two 0 to Martinez off the end of the bat on a changeup into center field for Payton. And Rick Reed gets around the leadoff single by Jeter. When we come back, the bottom of the 5th, we'll read the statement issued by Roger Clemens. Going to the bottom of the 5th, still 2-1 Yankees. Well, Tonight and every night, it's the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report on Fox Sports Net. It's 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to local home teams. So if you're tired of getting the same old 90 seconds of coverage from your late local news, check out the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report, nightly only on Fox Sports Net, on your local cable or satellite provider. More stars. Happy couple. Mr. and Mrs. Ben Stiller. Mets fans and these Mets bat in the bottom of the 5th inning, trailing the Yankees, trailing the world champions. 2-0 2-1 in this game 3, and Jay Payton takes the ball up and away.
Ben Stiller's a big fan of Brett Favre.
That's right. Payton, Bordick, and Reed. The obvious chance of a pinch hitter later in this inning if Bobby Valentine chooses to go in that direction. 2-0.
Even though Glendon Rush has sat down in the Mets bullpen, and this is one of those situations where a good hitting pitcher can keep himself in the game. As we mentioned earlier, Rick Reed with 10 hits on the year has a hit in this ball game. And also a very good bunter. So he does a lot of things to keep himself in games in the middle innings.
2 balls and a strike now on Payton. Orlando Hernandez turning in his usual fantastic start. A home run by Ventura in the 2nd. 1-out double by Ventura in the 4th inning. The only other hit, 1-out base hit by Rick Reed, the pitcher, in the 3rd. Now it's 2-2.
Jay Payton had a good pitch to hit. There have not been many pitches in the middle of the plate by Hernandez tonight. That was one he missed.
Stays 2-2. The statement issued by Roger Clemens, who said, "I have been advised with a fine, and under the rules I have 7 days in which to decide whether or not to appeal. I want to stay focused on the task at hand, helping my team win the World Series, so I do not intend to consider the question of an appeal or respond to questions about the fine or the incident itself until this series is over." Payton spoils it. Again, still 2-2. Before this game, we were down on the field, and it was a real odd feeling on this field. I know Major League Baseball has handed down its punishment. There is a fine. There is no suspension. According to Major League Baseball, the disciplinary action for what happened on Sunday night is that, a fine and no suspension. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Payton stays at the plate. But you get the feeling that this obviously isn't resolved. It's still hanging in the air, and whether you go down on the field, you go into the clubhouses, you talk to the 2 managers, you talk to the coaches, you talk to the players, you talk to reporters standing around the batting cage, it's there. It's still there, and it's hanging over this series. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Payton pops it up right at home plate. Posada. 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning, and here Mike Piazza's thoughts on the Roger Clemens incident on Sunday night.
I think the only thing you got to do is just file it away. And I've said many times before, again, you know, this things have a way of coming around, and unfortunately, you know, this is a big stage, but you have to try to keep the priority on baseball and try to win. And it is a shame the fact that this is going to be remembered more than the ball game he pitched.
That's ball 1 to Bordick. I don't think there's any doubt about that. That right now, this World Series to this point is not going to be remembered for that 4-hour, 51-minute Game 1. It's not going to be remembered for the outstanding pitching performance by Roger Clemens in Game 2. To this point, it's going to be remembered for Roger Clemens throwing the bat, a shattered bat, toward Mike Piazza going down the first baseline. You hope that at some point the focus gets back to the game of baseball and not what went on during a game of baseball on Sunday night as Bordick takes a strike. It's 2-1.
I don't know if it will last as long as, for instance, the Carlton Fisk great home run, Game 6 in 1975, but it might. It will certainly be connected to World Series lore for a long, long time.
2-1, 1 strike pitch, and Bordick up the middle, base hit. A 1-out single for the Mets. Bordick is on with Reed, the scheduled hitter. Take a look at the St. Paul Company's trivia question. Which pitcher had the most strikeouts in a World Series game? Why were we smiling in the booth earlier? Why don't you tell him?
Bob Gibson. 17, Game 1 of the 1968 World Series. Overwhelming performance. Probably the best World Series game ever pitched. I know a lot of people will say Don Larson. Gibson overwhelming that day.
1 on, 1 out. Reed up there to bunt. He drops it down. Martinez makes the play. The sacrifice good. 3-4. And the tying run in scoring position with 2 out here in the 5th inning.
Talked about Rick Reed with 14 sacrifices on the season. That was 3rd in the National League. He's an outstanding bunter. And as we said earlier in the inning, Tino Martinez does not want this ball to roll foul because they're bunting to tie. Also, Bordick is not a fast runner. And we've mentioned Timo Perez is not a hitter that you're going to play deep on if you're in the outfield. You've got to shorten up. He doesn't have a lot of power. So on a ball hit to the outfield, a base hit to the outfield, the outfielders of the Yankees could have a play on Mike Bordick. David Justice is too deep in left field. Timo Perez would have to hit a ball twice to hit it to David Justice.
Runner at second, 2 out. Perez takes a breaking ball in for strike 1. Now Lee Mazzilli pulling David Justice in left field. Perez rips it foul. That's strike 2.
Talk about Timo Perez at the beginning of the broadcast tonight. You see what he did in the division series in the NLCS. He was in the middle of everything for the Mets, scoring first inning runs in 4 of the 5 games in the NLCS. Has really had problems getting untracked here in the World Series, basically due to the way the Yankees have pitched him. A lot of fastballs up and out over the plate, getting him to hit lazy fly balls to the shallow outfield.
The Mets ask for Perez for an RBI here in the 5th inning. Breaking ball just missed.
Hernandez trying that side door slider right there. And if you miss with this pitch, you miss away. Another example of the guile of El Duque. Boy, he can pitch.
Now the 1-2. Going up and after it. Still 1-2 on Perez. Alfonso next, but El Duque will come right after this 23-year-old rookie who has 3 RBIs in the postseason.
The one advantage Bordick has, there are 2 strikes and 2 outs. At second base, you get a good look at that strike and it give you an extra step or 2. The minute you see the ball in the strike zone, and Mike Bordick had the same view that you folks just had from second base. It's right there. And if he sees that ball somewhere in this area, he takes off.
Crowded Shea trying to climb back into it. Mets down by a run. Runner at second, 2 out. Perez rips it foul. Perez trying to finish off the Mets here in the 5th inning. Perez now in battle mode, trying to hit a mistake. Two. Full count.
Situation where you want to challenge Perez with Edgardo Alfonzo on deck. Bad pitch selection right there. Throw a 3-2 curveball to a guy who can't drive the ball. Regardless of what Alfonzo does, this is a bad pitch right here. A 3-2 breaking ball, and Perez takes it and walks. Got to challenge him in that situation.
Well, the Mets have a guy they consider their clutch hitter. Mets trailing in this 2000 World Series 2-0, trailing in Game 3 2-1, 5th inning. 2 on, 2 out, and Edgardo Alfonzo, who has hit in 13 consecutive postseason games, at the plate. Strike one. 2000 postseason. Alfonzo 6 out of 13 with runners in scoring position. The Mets, by the way, were just handed only their 2nd walk of this series, which puts Alfonzo at the plate. And now in an 0-2 hole.
One slider that was hittable, and that one wasn't.
Alfonzo may have missed his pitch with that first delivery. Two on, 2 out. Alfonzo stays alive. Bordick, Perez, the runners. Tying run at second, go-ahead run at first. And Edgardo Alfonzo, a hero in his native Venezuela, trying to be a hero yet again with these fans packed into Shea Stadium. Chased it, and he's gone. Strikeout number 9 for Orlando Hernandez. He walks the 23-year-old rookie Perez to get Alfonzo to the plate. He strikes out Alfonzo for the 2nd time tonight, and after 5, Game 3, 2-1 Yankees. Orlando Hernandez reported sick yesterday with flu-like symptoms. he is turning the stomachs of these Met fans here tonight in Game 3. He struck out 9, which is 1 strikeout away from his career high in the postseason, which he got last year in Game 1 of the World Series at Atlanta. Strike on the outside corner from Rick Reed to Jorge Posada. Posada, then O'Neill, then Brocious. Anybody gets on Hernandez here in the 6th inning. Strike 2 on Posada. Lost in the praise that we're heaping on Orlando Hernandez is a solid start from Rick Reed. Working with 9 days rest, coming off a poor outing in the NLCS Game 3 against St. Louis. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Posada.
There have been 17 strikeouts in this game, and we're only in the 6th inning. The record for strikeouts in a 9-inning game, 1963, Dodgers Yankees. I think El Duque needs to do more homework. That game, by the way, was started by Sandy Koufax. He struck out 15. He started against Whitey Ford. Whitey struck out 4. Stan Williams struck out 5. Steve Hamilton 1.
Posada pops it to left for Agbayani. That's 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Well, tonight Al Leiter was given the Roberto Clemente Award, presented by John Hancock Financial Services. The award is given annually during the World Series to the player who best exemplifies the game of baseball, sportsmanship, community involvement, and the individual's contribution to his team. So congratulations to Al Leiter, and they picked a good one. Here's Paul O'Neill. A strike to O'Neill. O'Neill has doubled, tripled, driven in a run. He's now 6 out of 10 in this series. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Paul, a member of the 1990 Big Red Machine, the 90s version of that machine. Lou Piniella and the Reds went wire to wire. Beat the Oakland Athletics 4 in a row. Paul O'Neill was the right fielder coming to the Yankees in '92.
Strike 2. We've already heard from Joe Torre calling Paul O'Neill a warrior. Keith and Steve talked about Paul O'Neill during the pregame show. Yet as he plays this October with the Yankees, it might very well be his last in a Yankee uniform without a contract past this season. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Some changeup that Rick Reed threw to Paul O'Neill that last pitch. We talked the other night about the ring finger when Roger Clemens threw that ball low to Tino Martinez. Ring finger becoming involved. That's what happened on that changeup from Rick Reed. You could see that ring finger, that dead spin. That was that pitch that O'Neill swung and missed, the ball in the dirt.
One, 2 balls, 2 strikes. .100 even on the night for Rick Reed.
Various ways to throw a changeup. Some pitchers refer to it as a palm ball. Of course, it's not a splitter, but for the most part, all changeups are choked in some way.
Reaching for it, diving stop, Alfonso. 2 out.
And that was a changeup from Rick Reed, and a fine play by Alfonso. The changeup hit hard, but no change here. As Alfonso, as he's done so often since moving from 3rd to 2nd 3 years ago,
So calm, cool, and collected as he got to his knees, wiped his hand off, grabbed the ball out of his glove, and threw on in time to get Paul O'Neill at first.
Brosius off the end of the bat. Behind second base. And it's Alfonso who takes care of it. So a 1-2-3 inning for Rick Reed. Now it'll be Piazza, Ventura, Zeile for the Mets. Bottom of the 6th inning. Yankees lead 2-1. We talked during the National League Championship Series about Edgardo Alfonso and that knack for big hits in the Mets lineup, and called him Senor Octubre. And for the Yankees, Orlando Hernandez, who is in complete control again here tonight, is 8-0 in his postseason career, and he leads 2-1. Bottom of the 6th inning, dealing with Piazza first. Hard hit and fair down the left field line. Piazza will dig for second. It's a ground rule double. And that's the way the bottom of the 6th inning begins. A double from Piazza.
That ball hit right on the line. Scott Brosius was leaning toward the third base line and the left field line. And Piazza peppers it. Evidently looking for the breaking ball. You can see that flat spin right there. Right on the line. You can see Brosius, a lot of times third baseman will anticipate. They'll kind of lean toward the line. And the Mets realizing leadoff double here in the 6th.
Now it's Ventura who's hit the ball hard twice. Man interfering with that ground ball down the left field line off the bat of Piazza. A double. He's at second with nobody out. Mets down by a run, and Ventura takes a strike. Back in the 2nd. Ventura did that, leading off to Hernandez. The Yankees tied in the top of the 3rd and went ahead in the 4th. A 1-1. Ventura almost walked right into it. 2-1.
Robin Ventura right now is not trying to get the runner over. He's trying to get the runner in. Hernandez coming up and in to the Met third baseman just to keep him from leaning out over there.
Breaking ball in for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pretty good tandem right there. The fastball up and in. And now the curveball.
Runner at second with nobody out. And now a full count on Ventura. Zeile next. Double, now a walk, and it's 2 on with nobody out. Back in '73, Tug McGraw said you gotta believe, coined that phrase around Shea Stadium. This season here at home, the Mets 55-26, tied for the best in the majors technically. We talked earlier about the one quote-unquote home loss in Japan. Really 55-25 here at Shea this year. 7 3-game sweeps here at home. 45 come from behind wins.
Todd Zeile looking down at Cookie Rojas, the third base coach, to determine what to do. Bobby Valentine in situations like this has hit and run with Todd Zeile. You've got Biniac Bayani and Jay Payton, 2 young hitters after Zeile. I'm not too sure Bobby will want to bunt, sacrifice, and give up the out with Zeile at the plate.
Zeile did not put down a sacrifice all season long.
Strike 1. Not only that, not only what's happening at the plate and Zeile, who hasn't dropped down a sacrifice bunt all season long, but Zeile is in a spot trying to bunt Piazza to third.
Right.
and Ventura to second, two of the slowest guys in this game.
If this pitch is a ball, more than likely the next pitch could be the hit and run. Zeile, a great bat handler.
That's down the left field line. That's fair and into the corner. Piazza will score. Ventura is being held at third, an RBI double seal in a 2-2 game.
On the first pitch, he may have even missed the sign or doing it on his own. A flat slider from El Duque and a double for Zeile. Big, big hit.
From the bench to the bullpen and all points in between here at Shea Stadium. The RBI double Zeile, and now a visit to the mound from Billy Connors. While they meet on the mound, we talk about game 4 for just a moment. Denny Nagel has been tabbed as the starter for the Yankees, not David Cone. Take on Bobby Jones, who's been both terrific and 4 in 2 starts this postseason. That's tomorrow at 8 Eastern on Fox. But right now, with the Yankees leading 2-0. This score is tied in game 3, 2-2, and it's second and third, nobody out for Benny Agbayani.
Interesting and proper alignment, in my view, by Joe Torre. The right side of the infield is in. The left side of the infield is back. The reason for that, Agbayani hits the ball hard to his left, but not to his right.
And on the hands of Agbayani, strike 1. Wouldn't chase it, a ball and a strike. Stanton and Nelson. No big surprise out there in the bullpen for the Yankees.
There are very few times where a pitcher during any ball game will say, I'm going to strike this hitter out. If you question El Duque right now, he'll tell you that. I want to strike Agbayani out. I do not want him to make contact.
Strike 2.
I think Benny Agbayani is going to see either this pitch again in the dirt or something off the plate away. If you're a hitter, and he'll learn this with experience, you got to give him anything inside and look for something on the outside part of the plate, outside corner, off the plate away.
Called at the plate, granted by Jeff Kellogg as Agbayani stepped out. Tie game, 6th inning at Shea. Second and third, nobody out. Agbayani wouldn't go for it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and again, away.
Yep. Expand the strike zone when you're ahead, particularly to a young hitter.
Hit in all 11 postseason games this year for the Mets. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Full count. Jay Payton, the rookie, on deck. Steps out. Bobby Valentine sticking with Agbayani in his lineup tonight. Did not go to the left-handed hitting Darryl Hamilton. Fastball fouled back.
After seeing so many breaking balls, it's normal for a hitter to be way behind the fastball. That's a pitch that Vinny Agbayani normally handles, but it's been one breaking ball after another and then a fastball.
After throwing so many breaking balls, the velocity wasn't there for Hernandez, only 87. The count still full, 3 balls, 2 strikes, second and third, nobody out. Bases loaded.
What a great at bat by Vinny Agbayani. Fastball fouled back. 1-1 pitch. He went after it, but he learned from that. Fouls it back. He went after that 1-1 slider. El Duque tried to entice him a little more, and Benny said, not again.
Now it's Jay Payton with the bases loaded, nobody out. A run is home for the Mets here in the 6th inning. It's now a tie game. Right down the middle, strike 1. 100 now on the night for Hernandez. Trying to hold up, couldn't. 0-2.
Again, I think you'll see Hernandez try to play to Jay Payton's anxiety. He's very anxious up there now. World Series, bases loaded, tie game. All he needs is a fly ball. Payton, a bad ball swinger to begin with. Look for the next couple of pitches to be out of the strike zone.
Payton got a piece of it out of the strike zone. Still 0-2.
Cannot throw it far enough out of the strike zone for Jay Payton not to swing it. That pitch up above the shoulders is able to get a piece of it, foul it back.
Kirk Wendell getting loose for the Mets in their bullpen. With all eyes on Jay Payton. Two doubles, 2 walks in this inning. So far, only 1 run. One ball, 2 strikes. Strikeout number 10 for Hernandez.
Playing on Jay Payton's being so anxious. That ball about a foot outside, and Jay couldn't hold up.
Now a meeting on the mound as Posada goes out. Brocious comes over from third. The batter will be Bordick, which I'm sure to some in this crowd, they wonder why it's Bordick and not somebody off the Mets bench. Bordick is 4 out of 30 this postseason with no runs batted in.
I think a hit his last time up may have earned him an at bat right here. But if you would pinch hit for Bordick in this situation, it would have to be a left-handed batter and a fast runner, somebody like Darryl Hamilton, to stay out of the double play.
So Valentine stays with Bordick. Yankee infield looking for the double play, ball up the middle. Bases loaded, 1 out. Ball 1.
The further behind Hernandez falls to Bordick, the better chance of a squeeze, perhaps. Bordick a good bunter. Ventura is not a fast runner, but that in no way dictates whether you squeeze or not.
Some managers don't like to do it with the bases loaded.
Right, because the force at home. And an excellent fielding pitcher in Hernandez.
Ball, no strikes, bases loaded, 1 out. And a breaking ball in for a strike, 1-1. The Mets trailing in this series by 2 games. Have tied game 3 here in the 6th inning. Look for the lead. Bases loaded, 1 out. Strike 2 on Bordick.
Remember, right-handed batters hit only .210 against Hernandez this year. Pinpoint slider right there.
Bobby Valentine stayed with Agbayani in this 6th inning. He worked a walk. Payton struck out. Valentine stays with Bordick, who's set up with a ball and 2 strikes. Two and 2, and he did well to lay off that pitch. With a bases loaded, 1 out. And now this crowd to its feet.
2-2 fastball. Too low.
Strikeouts of Payton and Bordick.
Sequence right here. Here's the key pitch. The 1-0 breaking ball. And now the fastball blows Bordick away. But that 1-0 breaking ball set up that at bat. Very few pitchers have the courage with the bases loaded to throw a 1-0 breaking ball, but Hernandez did and reaped the benefits. Bordick down on strikes. 11 strikeouts for Hernandez.
Now it's Darryl Hamilton off the bench to bat for Rick Reed. And the 11 strikeouts tonight ties a Yankees World Series record, tying Bob Turley back in 1956 against the Dodgers. 2 out. Hamilton, breaking ball, strike 1. Wendell getting loose. Bases were loaded with nobody out. Now they're loaded with 2 down. A 2-2 game here in the 6th. The opposite way. Jeter force out at second, and a golden opportunity for the Mets. Ends in only 1 run. A leadoff double by Piazza. 2 doubles, 2 walks in the inning, but 2 strikeouts in the ground out. Makes it a 2-2 game through 6. Back after this from your local Fox station. That's the first swing of the 7th inning. It belongs to El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, as Turk Wendell enters the game. 7th inning, a 2-2 score, and Hernandez trying to push a bunt to the right side, missed it. 0-2. Reed, a strong start here tonight. 6 innings, 2 runs on 6 hits, only 1 walk and 8 strikeouts. 1 out. So 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. This Sunday on America's favorite pregame show, JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris are joined by weather girl Jillian Barberie, who tells you where it's hot and where it's not. Plus, our sarcastic sage, Jimmy Kimmel, makes his picks, gets in his licks on the boys. It's all part of the wildest NFL pregame show on TV. Fox NFL Sunday this week at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Only on Fox. That's ball 1 to Vizcaíno. Questions will be asked.
Yep.
In the direction of Bobby Valentine for what transpired in the bottom of the 6th inning, allowing Mike Bordick to bat. 4 out of 30 in the postseason with no RBI. With the bases loaded, 1 out against Orlando El Duque Hernandez, with the likes of Matt Franco, Lenny Harris, one of the all-time best pinch hitters, and Darryl Hamilton on the bench. Bobby Valentine went with Bordick, and it did not work.
Hamilton ending up hitting with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Bubba Trammell would not have been the hitter unless Mike Stanton came in the game.
Still 1-2 on Vizcaíno. Kimmel in the seats here at Shea Stadium as Turk Wendell is taking over here in the 7th. Now Dennis Cook gets loose for the Mets. Vizcaíno's gone. 2 out. Turk Wendell with that necklace on as he pitches. Here's the explanation from the man himself.
These are all hunting trophies. There's no shark's teeth. A lot of people have made speculation that they're shark's teeth, but this is all trophies from my hunting. When I put a big league uniform on every day, that's kind of a tribute to all the hard work it's taken me to get to the big leagues, and that's a lifetime of hard work. And this is more or less a lifetime of accomplishments off the field for me. It's something I love to do.
There's ball 1 down and into Derek Jeter.
Wasn't it George Scott of the Boston Red Sox that wore a similar necklace, and when they asked him what was on it, he said second baseman's teeth?
Wendell is taking care of the first 2 here in the 7th inning. Back-to-back strikeouts, and now Jeter, the count of 2-0. Wendell has always been in the category of quirky. He First came to the big leagues with the Cubs, the high jump over the foul line, brushing his teeth between innings, chewing licorice. 3 balls, no strikes. He has modified it. Was not successful when he first came to the big leagues, which is a reason why a lot of that stuff didn't fly. 3-0 on Jeter with Justice next, and that's on the inside corner, 3-1.
Fastball catches the inside corner. I guess if you chew licorice, you have to brush your teeth every inning.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Breaking ball is low, a 2-out walk. And now a visit will be forthcoming from Piazza as he gets the sign from Dave Wallace. With Justice coming up, Dennis Cook getting ready in the bullpen. He may be headed for a pitching change. A 2-out walk has kept the top of the 7th inning alive. The bottom of the 7th inning, the Mets will have the top of the order, Perez, Alfonso, and Piazza. They face Orlando Hernandez.
Most relievers are accustomed to getting ready in a hurry. And Dennis Cook certainly had ample time to get ready. And here comes Dave Wallace.
So Wallace out to make the pitching change. He makes the sign to the bullpen. And Turk Wendell is gone. A 2-out walk is the end of his night. Now it's Cook to deal with Justice. Turk Wendell still gritting his teeth. I was talking teeth with this guy, but he's got his teeth clenched over the dugout bench. He's upset that he's been taken out of this game in favor of Dennis Cook to deal with a lefty, David Justice. Justice, who isn't bothered really all that much by left-handed pitching, and Cook, you see his numbers in his career during the postseason with the run category highlighted, 0 in 18 games.
Yeah, Dennis Cook can't run the ball in on left-handed batters. And a left-handed batter's got to have some fear against a left-handed pitcher. So that simple little thing, a 2-out walk to Derek Jeter, got Wendell out of the ball game, and that could result in a good thing for the Yankees.
Dennis Cook was brought on in game 1 to start the 10th inning. He walked David Justice to start that inning. Then he walked Bernie Williams after that before he was relieved by Glendon Rush. The Mets did not allow the Yankees to score in that 10th, however.
So it's Cook to deal with Justice. After Justice, the switch hitter Bernie Williams. A 2-2 game 7th inning, game 3 of the 2000 World Series, with the Yankees leading 2-0. Cook trying to keep it tied going to the bottom of the 7th, when the Mets will have the top of their order. Now we're back in the situation, watching the Mets hold against the runner with Zeal off the bag with a left-hander, Cook in this case, on the mound. Here's Lee Mazzilli, the first base coach for the Yankees.
Yeah, but they're gonna play with you over here now. I know they are. They have to. They can't afford for you to steal second base. You know what I'm saying? In this situation.
Thrown over twice. And a near ball. Safe at first. And Jeter just got back, and Cook came awfully close to a balk.
Very close to a balk. You have to step over to first base. If you take that right leg and put it behind the left leg and you throw to first, it's a balk. See Dennis Cook lifting that leg. That's where.
Now the ball gets away, and now they're going to say, the home plate umpire says that it did hit Justice finally. And Justice will go down to first, hit by the pitch. It's 2 on, 2 out.
Tim, you said that Dennis Cook doesn't really have anything to work inside on the left-handed hitters. That tailing fastball, he tries to go inside, just chased David Justice right out of the batter's box.
Bobby Valentine electing to pull Wendell with the 2-out walk to Jeter. Justice hit by a pitch, and now 2 on 2 out for Bernie Williams. Williams 0 for 10 in this World Series. Runners on at first and second, 2 out. Tie game, 7th inning, ball 1 from Cook. Trying to put the Yankees back out in front. He backs out of the batter's box for a 1-0 pitch from Cook.
Sometimes you become so concerned with that runner at first base you forget the hitter. 3 throws to first base, and then Dennis Cook hit David Justice.
Now Bernie Williams out in front of a changeup, a ball and a strike.
Saw those numbers for Bernie Williams against Dennis Cook. 3 for 15 in his career. However, 2 of the 3 base hits home runs.
Good changeup and a fastball count. Evens the count.
Lyndon Rush and John Franco getting loose for the Mets in their bullpen. But it's Cook against Williams. And it's ball 2, 2-1. Bernie Williams is a combined 8 out of 63 in his appearances at the plate during World Series play. Jeter and Justice aboard with 2 out, 2 balls and a strike.
Dennis Cook loses Bernie Williams to a walk, I would suspect Lyndon Rush would be the pitcher.
3 balls and a strike. Cook has faced 3 batters in this World Series. He's walked 2 of them, hit the other. And now a high strike pulls Williams back to the plate. It's a full count.
You could see Joe Torre asking Don Zimmer. The ball was high. Piazza bringing it back. That ball appeared to be low enough.
So runners on at first and second, 2 out, a full count. The runners will take off. The Yankees try to regain the lead here in Game 3. A look back at Jeter.
Pitch that Dennis Cook was most successful with, and this at bat was a changeup. He threw it on a 1-0 count. Williams way out in front.
Jeter and Justice, the runners, they'll take off. 3-2 from Cook to Bernie Williams. Changeup, got him. And the inning is over. A walk, a hit batsman, 2 left. Time to stretch at Shea. And a 2-2 game.
Dennis Cook strikes out Bernie Williams with a couple of Yankees on base. Lee Mazzilli, the first base coach, in a conversation with Dave Justice, thought perhaps that 1-0 changeup may help Bernie Williams.
That's what Bernie, I mean, that's what he needed to see, one of those changeups will stay back in there, right? You know? Yeah. Swing a little hard.
Bernie Williams swinging a little too hard. Sometimes an off-speed pitch early in the sequence will force you to stay back a little bit more. That was not the case, however, as Bernie chased a changeup for strike 3.
Ball 1 to Perez, in this game underway in the bottom of the 7th.
Perez hasn't tried to bunt in this game. Usually he does try to bunt.
1 ball, 1 strike.
We talked about it, and we have talked about it in the LCS and the World Series. He laid down a 3-2 with the count 3 balls and 2 strikes, a bunt down the third baseline against the San Francisco Giants. So he'll bunt anytime regardless of the count.
Showing it, pulling back from ball 2, 2-1. Roches is in and certainly expecting a bunt, or at least is ready for it. Tino Martinez is pulled in and even with a bag over at first. Into left field, Justice back to make the catch. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th.
Timo Perez hits a ball about as hard as he can hit it the other way. Tailing fastball from El Duque. Justice hauls it in.
So 1 down, and Edgardo Alfonzo will bat. Well, the base is empty and Piazza on deck. A strike on the outside corner from Hernandez, who was struck out 11. He's pitched well from the start, but he hasn't pitched any better at any other point tonight than he did in the bottom of the 6th inning. As Alfonzo rolls one over to third. Roches took care of Alfonzo, who's 0 for 4. 2 out, nobody on.
This was back in the 5th inning. Edgardo Alfonzo, you don't see him look this badly too often. Chasing one bad slider after another. You strike out Edgardo Alfonzo twice in one game and give him a collar. 0 for 4. You've done something.
Here is Piazza with 2 out, nobody on. Checked his swing, ball 1. Talking about Orlando Hernandez, you specifically mentioned the strikeouts. Strikeout of Payton last inning with the bases loaded, nobody out. A strikeout of Bordick. The pinch hitter, Darrell Hamilton, bounced into a force out at second as Piazza tied up on a pitch up and in, a ball and a strike.
Yeah, almost all of Hernandez's strikeouts have been on pitches the outside part of the plate. He just blows this ball by Piazza, a letter high fastball.
Piazza pops it up right side of the infield. Tino Martinez. Orlando Hernandez through 7 strong innings. Game 3 goes to the 8th here at Shea Stadium. Tied at 2. What a performance again tonight by Orlando Hernandez. 7 innings. 2 runs on 6 hits. Tino Martinez leads off for the Yankees here in the 8th. Martinez, Posada, O'Neill. Against Dennis Cook, who got out of trouble in the 7th. Ball 1.
That's what Dennis Cook does because he doesn't have that tailing fastball. He'll drop down on left-handers. What about the remarkable consistency of Orlando Hernandez on the outside part of the plate to right-handed batters tonight?
2-0 now on Tino Martinez.
He has struck out 11, and most of them have been on the outside part of the plate to the right-handed batters.
Martinez 1 out of 3 tonight with a single and a run scored. 3-0 from Dennis Cook. They'll spring to action out of the Mets bullpen here in the 8th. John Franco getting loose. Switch hitting catcher Posada on deck. Three balls, no strikes on Tino Martinez. First up here in the 8th inning. And a 4-pitch walk.
We talked about El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, and his consistency outside the right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th one. The 6th one. 7, 8, 9 strikeouts of the 11 on the outside corner or off the plate away. Remarkable.
Inning by inning, 29 pitches thrown during that long 6th inning, which he allowed 2 doubles, 2 walks, but only 1 run. Now it's Jorge Posada with a runner at first, nobody out.
You're thinking sacrifice? Forget it. He hasn't sacrificed all year. He's not going to start now, and he's not going to be facing Dennis Cook, it doesn't appear.
John Franco out in the Mets bullpen. They may call on the Brooklyn native to get the Mets through the 8th. Posada will be at the plate when we come back, and John Franco will be on the mound. Well, John Franco is the 3rd out of the bullpen for the New York Mets tonight in Game 3. And back at the booth, Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Bob Brenly with you. That big opportunity for the Mets in the 6th inning. You have a feeling that was their shot. They could not come up with the RBI, and it's Orlando Hernandez, at least to this point in the game, that you just have to marvel at the way he pitches and the command that he has, as you guys have talked about, over that outside part of the plate to the right-handed batters.
I think there are 2 things. Allowing Mike Bordick to hit in the 6th inning with the bases loaded and 1 out, and allowing Dennis Cook to start the 8th inning. I mean, you've got to go with your best. It's a tie ball game. The Mets can ill afford to lose another ball game.
And Dennis Cook has had problems with this control throughout this postseason as well as postseasons past. So I was quite surprised to see Dennis Cook go out there to start this inning as well.
So it is Franco now. And he will deal with Posada. During the pitching change, Jorge Posada went down and talked to third base coach Willie Randolph. Make sure they get their signs straight. Runner at first with nobody out. And a strike over the inside corner. Only a .213 average in the postseason. This World Series, 3 out of 11 with 1 RBI. Inside corner again, 0-2.
Franco setting Posada up for that changeup that goes low and away. Usually it's out of the strike zone. And that's the way he grips it.
Ventura, Alfonso, double play.
Nicely turned by Robin Ventura. Actually, that was a pitch that Franco got away with. That was a fastball, and it was too good a pitch. Posada hit it hard, But Ventura turns it along with Alfonso.
So the start of a smile on the face of Franco, and now he's back to business dealing with Paul O'Neill. He's had a terrific game. Strike one from Franco. O'Neill doubled in the second, tripled homer run. Martinez back in the fourth inning, and that gave the Yankees a 2-1 lead at the time, and then he was robbed of a hit on a diving stop to his left by Edgardo Alfonso in the sixth. Batting in the eighth with 2 out and nobody on base. That's on the outside corner, and John Franco has come in and done nothing but throw strikes.
And you can see the defense. Both corner infielders are on the line, Ventura and Zeile, and the outfield is straight away and deep for O'Neill. Peyton shaving him toward left center.
No balls, 2 strikes. Up the middle. Base hit. And the top of the eighth inning continues. Third hit of the night for Paul O'Neill. That is his 7th hit of this World Series in 12 at-bats.
See, he got away with that 0-2 fastball to Posada, but does not get away with too good a pitch to Paul O'Neill. Fastball is too good. It's too fat. And O'Neill singles up the middle, and that's going to bring up a pinch hitter and a guy who has done damage to Franco in the past in Glen Allen Hill.
So far this postseason, Hill is 1 out of 15 with 7 strikeouts. The 2-out hit by O'Neill keeps the top of the eighth inning alive, and these Yankees don't hesitate to send Glen Allen Hill to the plate because of those numbers in his career against John Franco. 500 average, 3 long balls.
You know, John Franco pitched an inning in game 1, the 8th inning of that ball game, threw a lot of fastballs in that appearance as well. I think John Franco maybe is trying to cross up the Yankee hitters who may be going to the plate looking for that changeup. He's thrown more fastballs than I've ever seen him throw.
If he throws a fastball over the fat part of the plate to Glen Allen Hill, he can lose it in a hurry. 2 game-winning home runs against Franco while a member of the Chicago Cubs.
Franco keeps it away from Glen Allen Hill, who started this season with the Cubs. Knobloch getting loose in the dugout as the pitcher's spot. Orlando Hernandez waits on deck. Glen Allen Hill, a chance for the Yankees. Runner at first with 2 out. 2-2 game in the eighth. Keeping it away from Hill, and it's 1-1.
90-mile-an-hour sinking fastball on the outside corner, trying to stay away from the power of Glen Allen Hill.
This is the matchup that Joe Torre wanted late in the World Series game. Glen Allen Hill against John Franco. Go ahead, run at first with 2 out. And that's a little flare into right center. Perez coming to get it. And this game goes to the bottom of the eighth inning. A walk, a double play, a hit, a man left. Yankees have left 9. Bottom of the eighth, still tied at 2. Up above Shea Stadium, the best seat in the house inside the Bud 1 airship flying overhead tonight to bring you these beautiful live shots. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball and the 2000 Subway Series. Also known as the World Series, by the way. And here are the Mets and Yankees in game 3. The Yankees leading 2-0. A 2-2 score. Bottom of the eighth, and a breaking ball for a strike from Hernandez. Ventura's had a perfect night at the plate. A homer, a double, a walk. And now he's in the hole 0-2.
Get the feeling that with the count 0-2 and Zeile on deck, that Hernandez wants to get Ventura out with a breaking ball. He has had the best at bats by far against El Duque tonight.
Luis Sojo in the game at third after Joe Torre lifted Roches for the pinch hitter Hill. Ventura's gone, and that is strikeout number 12 for Orlando Hernandez, a Yankee World Series record. This Sunday, catch the best professional figure skaters in the world as they compete in the Grand Slam Super Teams of Skating. Ryan Boitano, Katarina Witt, Ryan Orser, and Nicole Bobek headline a star-studded field of Olympic and world champions. Round 1 of the Grand Slam Super Teams of Skating this Sunday on Fox. Check local listings for the start time in your area. Here's Zeal. One out, nobody on, and Zeal backs out of there. There's the Yankees World Series record for Orlando Hernandez with 12 strikeouts. One out, nobody on. 8th inning. Ball 1. Agbayani next. Hernandez does not get the call on the outside corner. 2-0. Joe Torre had action in his bullpen back in the 6th inning. Hernandez persevered, and here he is in the 8th. 2-1.
Good pitch right there. Todd Zeal's looking inside, trying to yank something. And he gets the breaking ball. And a fastball count.
Two and 2. Zeal with an RBI double down the left field line in the 6th inning. 2 strikeouts prior to that at bat. Trying to get something going for the Mets with 1 out in the 8th. That's back behind the plate, not a play. This is the 11th World Series game here at Shea Stadium. The Mets are 7-3 during World Series play here at home. 129 pitches on the night for Hernandez. A 2-2 score, bottom of the 8th inning, and a 2-2 pitch to Zeal. Full count.
Well, if you're a guess hitter right now, you have to be thinking slider. You get slider on the 2-0 count for a called strike. Tough situation for Todd Zeal.
Ground ball up the middle, base hit to the left of Jeter and into left center field. Zeal is on for the 2nd time tonight.
No, Bob, I think he shook off the slider. I think Posada wanted it. He shook it off and threw the fastball. That is a rare ground ball hit by the Mets. Only 2 ground ball outs recorded by Hernandez tonight. And that's what the Yankees need right now is a ground ball double play. Ball hops right over the glove of Derek Jeter.
Got there, but it took a hop and jumped over his glove into left center field. And now 1 on, 1 out for Benny Agbayani. Agbayani has been a postseason hero this year for the Mets. Go back to Game 3 of the division series. Zeal draws the throw. Agbayani hitting a 13th inning home run against Aaron Foltz to beat the Giants. Next day, Bobby Jones pitched a 1-hitter. Mets were in the National League Championship Series. Runner at first, 1 out. Agbayani takes ball 1.
The very fact that Hernandez does not throw a lot of ground balls takes away the hit and run. You may do it, but one of the primary things for a hit and run is to get the ball on the ground. And when with only 2 ground ball outs made all night, doubtful.
is down to the wall. Zeal on the races. He's around third. Digging for the play to the next hit. A 3-2 eighth inning lead. Agbayani delivers again.
Fastball that tails back over the fat part of the plate. Agbayani hits it in a perfect spot to score Todd Zeal, who is not a fast runner. But because it's hit to left center, Todd on his horse.
Watching the race to the plate. Zeal all the way from first on the double into left center by Agbayani. Now it's Joe McEwing pinch running for Agbayani. Then he'll stay in the game and play left field, which the Mets do anyway in the ninth inning with a lead. They get more speed on the bases as Jay Payton chops one up the middle. Vizcaino to his right. Good play. Safe. Infield hit first and third. One out. Vizcaino did all he could.
We talked about it the other night. When a right-handed batter as fast as Payton hits the ball on the outside part of the plate, he's already going toward first base. What a jump out of the batter's box for Payton. Here it is right here. Payton, outside part of the plate, flying down to first. Wow.
134 pitches on the night right now for Hernandez, which ties his season high. Here comes Joe Torre. El Duque will exit, possibly 3 outs away from his first postseason loss. He's gone. Stanton in for the Yankees here in the 8th. Orlando Hernandez now will sit and watch as Joe Torre goes to the bullpen for the first time tonight. While Stanton warms up, we'll remind you to watch Game 4 of the World Series on Fox tomorrow night for the $1 million Gillette Strike Zone Challenge. Prior to the start for Denny Nagel against Bobby Jones. Jones, the terrific start in the division series against the Giants, the one-hitter. Not good in Game 4 in the NLCS against St. Louis, and Denny Nagel was the loser twice in the American League Championship Series with Seattle. Now it's Stanton. There's Nagel, tomorrow night starter for the Yankees. Lenny Harris was announced as a pinch hitter, so he is erased. That forced the pitching change. Bobby Valentine gets what he wants, and that is Bubba Trammell facing the left-hander Stanton.
In Game 1, Mike Stanton was superb. 3 strikeouts, retiring 6 in a row. In that game, the Yankees won on the hit by Jose Vizcaino in the 12th inning.
Trammell trying to add to a Mets 3-2 eighth inning lead. Breaking ball is low. Kurt Abbott is going to have to enter the game anyway because the Mets are pinch hitting in the spot originally held by Portick is on deck. First and third, one out, 1 ball, no strikes, and a check on Payton.
If Trammell hits into a double play, Bobby Valentine employs the double switch. Abbott goes in the 9-hole, and Armando Benitez would hit 8.
Benitez, who has been anything but solid in the postseason. Swing by Trammell, a ball and a strike. Benitez, who blew the save in Game 1 of this World Series, has had his fair share of trouble in the postseason, allowing 7 home runs in his career. He's ready out of the Mets bullpen. Trammell trying to give that bullpen a little more breathing room. A run on 3 hits in the inning so far, and a breaking ball is a beauty from Stanton, 1-2. Runners on at the corners with 1 out. Another check on Payton.
One reason to throw over there is not to keep Jay Payton from running, but to keep him close enough where on a hard ground ball he can't take out Jose Vizcaíno or Derek Jeter. Jay Payton, as far as the specimen is concerned, is really put together and rock solid and runs fast. That spells trouble for a middle infielder in double play situations.
Trammell gets the ball in the air. McEwing will tag at third. Williams comes up throwing. McEwing to the plate, safe, and the Mets lead by 2.
Splitter from Mike Stanton. It stayed up, and what a job of hitting. You can see the front side was gone, but Trammell is so strong, he gets it in the air and gets it deep enough to score Joe McEwing.
So a sac fly off the bench from Bubba Trammell. A 2-run Mets lead, and now Kurt Abbott will bat. Something that needs to be talked about is what transpired back in the 6th inning. After the Mets had scored the run to tie it, 2 on with nobody out, Bobby Valentine stayed with Benny Agbayani, who worked a walk. Keeping him in the game brought him back up here in the 8th inning, and Agbayani delivers with an RBI double, a breaking ball in for a strike. That double put the Mets on top here in the inning, and then McEwing running for Agbayani just scored on the sac fly. On top of that, keeping Bordick in the lineup, even though he struck out for the 2nd out in the 6th inning. His spot comes up again here in the 8th. Bobby Valentine pinch hits Harris, then Trammell, who delivers the sac fly. If Abbott had been brought into the game back in the 6th inning, going to the field for the 7th, Bobby Valentine really would have had to do some juggling if he wanted to pinch hit for Abbott. He could put Alfonso at short if he wanted, but by being patient and staying with his starting lineup, including Bordick and Agbayani, it has paid off here in the 8th inning.
That's what you could do when you're tied also in the 6th inning. If they're behind, you might be forced to pinch hit for Bordick, but because they were tied, you plan to win at home. You had the last at bat.
Abbott is gone as Stanton takes care of him, but the Mets finally take care of El Duque. 2 runs on 3 hits and a sac fly. Game 3 goes to the 9th. Agbayani broke the tie. McEwing later scored. It's now 4-2 Mets. 3 changes for the Mets as this game goes to the 9th inning, and the Mets leading 4-2. McEwing's in left. Abbott's at short. On the mound is Armando Benitez.
And Chuck Knobloch's the pinch hitter, and he'll make Benitez throw a strike.
Numbers in the postseason for Knobloch, who started this night on the bench in favor of Vizcaino, who's on deck. A strike on the inside corner. Benitez, who is only 3 of 9 in his career in save opportunities in the postseason. Trying to protect a 2-run 9th inning lead. A leadoff single by Knobloch, and here come the Yankees.
In game 1, with the Mets on top 3-2, 1 out and nobody on. The 10-pitch walk to Paul O'Neill. Polonia as a pinch hitter. Then Vizcaino loads him up. And a sac fly by Chuck Knobloch tied it. And the Yankees won it in 12, 4-3 on the hit by Vizcaino.
There's no question Benitez throws hard, but after following the pitchers he has followed in this ball game for the Mets, he throws the ball over the heart of the plate a lot. And the Yankee hitters are very good controlling the bat within the strike zone, putting the ball in play, taking their chances.
The ugly numbers for Benitez in his postseason history, and now Louis Polonia will come off the bench and bat for Vizcaino. Both Polonia and Vizcaino got hits in game 1 against Benitez. After Polonia, it's Jeter and then Justice. Polonia up there swinging, flies to center for Payton. Away.
The shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter.
That'll bring in Derek Jeter. Against a guy like Benitez, who at times can have control problems, is it wise to go up there and swing at the first pitch?
I think if you're Polonia, if you get a hit on the first pitch,
then it looks great.
Then it looks good. Yeah.
Well, the other night he got a hit on a 1-0 pitch that was down out of the strike zone.
1 on 1 out here for Jeter, who has 2 hits tonight. That's just blown by him. Strike 1.
If you get a pitch you're looking for and you're the tying runner, hack.
Yeah, most pinch hitters during the regular season coming off the bench, they swing at the first thing they see in the strike zone.
Sure.
No exception here in the World Series.
Jeter tonight has struck out, singled and scored, singled again and walked. Tying run at the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike. Coming up after the game, the late local news, except for those of you on the West Coast. Don't forget, for more post-game coverage, turn to Fox Sports Net on your local cable or satellite provider.
Todd Zeile at first is backing up toward the fat part of the infield. He ought to back up and guard the line.
Strike 2 on Jeter.
The reason for that is Derek Jeter's slot is down the right field line. A good slider from Benitez. Bad pitch. Remember, Derek Jeter goes to right with 2 strikes.
That's out of play. And still 1 and 2 on Jeter. David Justice waits to hit next. Benitez with a franchise record 41 saves during the regular season. Gets Jeter 2 out.
Actually, Derek Jeter takes the best pitch to hit. Fouls it off. Now watch this pitch. It backs up right on the inside part of the plate. That strikeout, by the way, ties a World Series record in a 9-inning game. 25, we mentioned it earlier. 1963, and then a 12-inning game, Mets against Oakland in 1973.
Now it's Justice. Tying run at the plate. Top of the 9th inning. 4-2 Mets, who trail in this 2000 World Series 2-0. Ball 1 to Justice. Subway Series fact. Team that lost the first 2 games came back to win the series. Both 55 and 56. Brooklyn in 55. The Yankees in 56. 1 ball, no strikes on Justice. 1-1.
Justice looking for an inside fastball to tie this ball game up. That was too far inside.
If you're the Mets, you definitely want to see this ball game end right now with David Justice. Bernie Williams in the on-deck circle, 6 for 7 lifetime against Benitez with a home run.
The 1-1 to Justice. Knobloch takes second on ball 2. No stolen base for Knobloch, but it takes that force out away at second base. 2 balls and a strike on David Justice. Armando Benitez trying to save it for John Franco. Three balls and a strike. Again, Bernie Williams waits on deck. October night, this Shea Stadium crowd sweating through another Benitez 9th inning. 3 balls and a strike on Justice. That's a foul ball, and Justice needs a new bat. 3-2.
It's an idea of how hard Benitez throws. Justice looking for the fastball inside. He got it and still broke his bat. This is a good pitch to hit. Justice almost on his tiptoes, trying to lift that ball, and he hits it foul.
This crowd waiting to erupt. But nervous with Benitez on the mound. A leadoff hit by Knobloch. Bologna fly to center. Jeter struck out. Now Knobloch's at second with 2 out and a 3-2 count on Justice. Right side should end the game. Alfonso. Mets win game 3. Let's give you the Merrill Lynch play of the game for game 3.